Can you believe it's already July? That means that over half the year is over and your body still looks the same. But the good news is that I've helped busy guys transform their bodies in as little as 90 days. So if you want to get ripped before 2026, here's exactly what to do. The first thing you need to do is assess. Do you need to build muscle or do you need to lose fat? Because being ripped just means having a lean, muscular body. For some of you, this is going to mean that you need to lose fat. For others, it's going to mean that you need to build muscle. Chances are you already know what you need to do, but if by chance you don't, then the first thing you've got to do is go stand in front of a mirror, take your shirt off and click a photo, and then look at that photo and ask yourself, right now, to build a lean muscular body, do I need to lose fat first or do I need to build muscle first? Now the chances are that if you're watching this video, you probably need to lose fat first. And before I reveal the tactic that got my client T to lose 10 pounds in 1 month, we've got to understand what causes fat loss. Because if you understand what actually causes fat loss, I promise you, you can lose weight eating pretty much whatever you want. Because fat loss does not happen when you starve yourself. Fat loss does not happen when you restrict yourself to a diet of chicken, broccoli, and rice. Fat loss does not happen when you go on restrictive diets that are extreme, like the keto diet or the paleo diet or the carnivorous diet. Fat loss happens when you burn more calories than you eat. It is as simple as that, and it does not need to get any more complicated. It's not about being on the keto diet, on the paleo diet, or on any other fancy diet that you see on the internet. It's just about burning more calories than you eat, which seems very simple, and it is, but it's not easy. Because let's be honest, nobody likes eating less food. But what if I told you that you didn't have to eat less food at all and you could still get ripped if you did this one exercise? And the best part is that you don't even have to go to the gym for this exercise because the exercise is walking. Because like I said before, fat loss happens when you burn more calories than you eat. So there's two things you can do. Either you could just eat less and then you're going to be burning more calories than you eat and then you'll lose fat. Or you could eat the same calories that you were eating before, but increase how much you're moving. And then guess what? You're still going to lose fat. And the reason that I'm recommending you to walk is because if I asked you to run or if I asked you to swim, not everybody can do that. If you're 25, 30, running is going to take a toll on your body. And you don't want all of that stuff to impact your recovery from the gym because keep in mind, if you want to build a lean, muscular body, you're still going to have to hit the gym. Just because you want to lose fat doesn't mean that you don't need to lift weights in the gym. So the amount of movement I recommend for fat loss is 10K steps every day. And the 10K steps don't have to be in the great outdoors. They could be in the comfort of your house and they don't have to be on a treadmill either. You could just plug in your headphones and just walk around your house. And I do that and some of my family members think I'm crazy. But guess who's the only fit family member in our entire house? Me. Now that we've got the movement part figured out, I'm going to tell you the diet that I put my client T on that caused him to lose 10 pounds in 1 month. And the diet is actually really simple, and it starts off with taking your body weight and multiplying it by numbers starting from 10 all the way up to 14. The more active you are on a daily basis, the bigger the number you can use to multiply your body weight with. So if you're hitting 10K steps, you probably should multiply by 12 or 13, maybe even 14 if you work a job that requires you to be physically active. And the number that you get after multiplying your body weight by whatever number that you multiplied it with is going to be your daily calories. And you're going to try to never go over the amount of calories that you're allowing yourself. So say for example, I'm 200 pounds and I multiply my body weight by 13 because I'm active. Well, now I've got 2,600 calories that I've got to stick to every day. And I'm going to try my level best to not go over those calories. Because let's say that this jug represents your body and the water inside the jug represents the fat that's on your body. Every day that you eat less calories than you burn, a little bit of water comes out of the jug. And after a day, you might not notice the difference. And after 2 days, you might still not notice the difference. And after 7 days or 10 days or 20 days, you might still not notice the difference. But
after a month or a month and a half, or some people maybe even 2 months, what happens eventually is that
the difference becomes pretty noticeable. And so every day that you stick to your calories, that's what your body is doing. It's getting rid of fat. And like I said before, you might have some off days. You might have some days where instead of pouring water out the jug, you might pour some water into the jug by eating more than you were supposed to. That's fine, because as long as over a long enough period of time, you're pouring water out of the jug for the majority of the time, you're still going to have a jug that has a lot less water in it than it had when you first started. Now, the reason that I created that absolute fucking mess on the floor was so that you could understand fat loss. Because a lot of people think that if you go over the amount of calories that you're eating, you're going to reverse all of your progress. But that couldn't be further from the truth. As long as you're being consistent for the majority of the time, then a few off days here and there are not going to make any difference. And so when I worked with T, who ended up losing 10 pounds in 1 month, guess what happened? He still had some off days, but out of 30 days, he was consistent for like 25. So it didn't matter if he had 5 off days. Now, if you need to build muscle to get ripped, then keep watching, because I'm going to show you how I got my client Daniel to gain 11 pounds of muscle in 90 days. First of all, you want to make sure you avoid fitness industry propaganda like going to the gym 6 days a week, following a push-pull leg split, and spending 2 hours in the gym every time that you're in there, because that is not going to help you grow muscle. Especially if you're someone who has a life outside of the gym and is crunched on time. Instead of thinking how many days am I going to the gym and how long I'm in the gym for, I think about how good is the quality of my workouts. And the 3 things that determine the quality of your workouts is the intensity, the form, and the programming. The intensity is just how many reps are you leaving in the tank during your workouts. If you're spending 2 hours in the gym, but you're leaving more than 5 reps in the tank for every exercise that you do, then you are missing out on some serious muscle gains. But luckily, the solution to this is pretty simple. All you've got to do is do more reps and train harder. So I want you to follow the rule of 3 for this. You want to never leave more than 3 reps in the tank for any of your exercises. Now, the second thing that determines the quality of your workouts is your form. So you could do 4 sets of bicep curls like this and get mediocre results, or you could do 2 sets of a bicep curl like this and get fantastic results. The general rule for form is go slow when the muscle is being stretched and go explosive and go fast when the muscle is being contracted. So for bicep curls, the muscle is being stretched when I'm lowering the weight. So I want to lower the weight slowly and I want to pull explosively, right? But on the lat pull down, the muscle is being stretched when the weight is going up. So when the weight is going up, I want it to go up slowly and then I want to pull down explosively. Now, the third thing that determines the quality of your workouts is the programming. And within programming, there's 3 variables that you need to consider. And I call this the 3E framework. The first E is easy. Is the workout program that I'm on made up of exercises that are easy to set up and perform, or am I doing dumb exercises that I saw on Instagram that take me 20 minutes to set up? The second E is effective. Are the exercises that I'm doing going to grow significant muscle on my body, or am I training small, tiny muscles that don't really matter all that much and won't show on my body and are not going to help me look ripped? The third E is effective. So are the exercises that I'm doing giving me a great bang for my buck? Which means that are the exercises I'm doing giving me the most amount of muscle gains in the least amount of time? Now, I'm not going to go too deep on the 3E framework because that's a video on its own, but here's an example of how I would implement the 3E framework if you came on board to work with me. First and foremost, I wouldn't have you doing any fancy exercises that take a long time to set up. I would have you doing tried and tested movements that have been proven to work. Also, I would make sure that the tried and tested movements that you're doing are going to grow muscle all over your body and they're not going to take a lot of time to perform. So for example, if you're crunched on time like all of my clients, I would not have you doing a chest fly to grow your chest, and then a front raise to grow your shoulders, and then a tricep extension to grow your triceps. Because these 3 exercises are probably going to take you 10 minutes each. So it's going to take you 30 minutes to train your chest, train your shoulders, and train your triceps. Now, instead of spending 30 minutes to train 3 muscle groups, I would have you doing the medium grip incline bench press, which is going to train all 3 muscle groups really well, but it's going to take half the time. Since you're gripping the bar a little closer, it's going to train your triceps. Since you're pushing an incline, it's going to train your shoulders. And the incline bench press is one of the best exercises for your chest. So I'm pretty much killing 3 birds with 1 stone. The chest, the shoulders, and the triceps, all trained exceptionally well through just 1 exercise. Now, to show you what happens when you implement all of these tactics, I'm going to tell you a story. So there was a point in time where I was working 9 hours a day and I was training 6 days a week in the gym for 2 hours at a time following the push-pull leg split. And here's what life looked like. I would wake up, shower, get ready for work, and head to work and stay there for 9 hours. And then as soon as I got off of work, I would head straight to the gym for 2 hours. By the time I got home, it was 9 to 10 p.m. and everyone was asleep. I didn't get to spend any time with my family or with my friends, and I actually ended up feeling pretty isolated. And it was only when I cut both my gym time and how many days I was going to the gym that I started to feel like a human again, because it literally felt like I was living like a robot. Because I would wake up, go to work, go to the gym, come back, sleep, and then repeat the entire thing again. And it was pretty much the same exact situation that Daniel was in, because he was training 6 days a week and he was spending 2 hours in the gym as well. So he barely got any time to himself. And so when you follow these programs that are made for gym bros, you just end up becoming a gym bro who has no life outside of the gym. And for some people that's okay, but for me it is not. Which is why I created my school community, which helps busy men get ripped. Because going to the gym 6 days a week, 2 hours at a time, sucks all the time that you have, and you get to spend little to no time with your family and your friends, and that sucks. Now, if you want to learn how to save even more time in the gym, then you can watch this video where I show you another tactic to reduce gym time. I'll see you in the next one.